The video thing, honestly guys, they've done us. We didn't do them. They did us. And if you don't understand what that means, keep experimenting. You will very shortly. Because when you're really in resonance with what's supposed to happen, it just does happen. It's like the grass growing. I mean, it just happens. But the way this all got started was a few years ago. I was earlier on in my experiment, and still very ramped up on a lot of the generator energy at that point. Still can get ramped up, but I temper it now. I enjoy it when it's correct, But I was doing a lot of lectures and talks on human design here on the island of Kauai. And a friend of mine, a local technical wizard, among many other wizard-like attributes he carries, the beautiful generator standing behind the camera that does not want to be known. It put me out here, and I'm the one that has to stand here and tell the story. I was actually hoping he would do it. He asked if he could bring and record just the audio of a lecture I was giving. And for whatever reason, because it was exactly perfect, where a lot of people had been showing up to these meetings, very few people showed up. And he had this video stuff. He goes, well, is it okay if I just shoot video? And I was like, my spleen hit, and even then my splenic awareness was pretty developed. And I was, and then I asked him back, do you want to? And he's, uh-huh. And I'm like, okay, well, sure, I guess. And that's the first video series you guys will see on YouTube, or the oldest one at least. I don't know if it's the first one you'll see, but there was no intent. We didn't set out to do it. It was not a goal. And so that evolved into, now we've done several shootings. And again, it's always been from authority. It's always been correct. Even if I wasn't totally correct at where I was in my experiment at the time, which is, it's just part of the deconditioning process. I'm much further along now. We never tried to make anything happen. We still don't try to make anything happen. So we were in, my friend, this magical generator creature that's here to mutate and hand down the values, in his own unique design. He has the energy to do so, which obviously he's doing, not only with the first series, but this series as well. He asked me to breakfast or something, or we played with some webinar stuff. We were just looking at what we might do, because we've done we played with some of that stuff early on. And potentially doing some online sacral sessions for the sacral beings, and then somehow the idea of doing like an online call-in radio show. But the whole reason we were getting together was to talk about this webinar stuff, or whatever that means. I only know that term because he told me. I'm so technical, I couldn't even return a text message on my cell phone yesterday. It's really bad, guys. Without him, none of this would be happening. Trust me. I'd still be sitting there, just doing whatever I was doing. So we met for breakfast, and not only did the subject of videos come up and my spleen start lighting up. This year's been really radical for me. First of all, it was going to see Raw, which I never thought I would do, and I still haven't paid off. Those of you that are going to call me and whine about money, don't bother. I'm basically bankrupt with this stupid stuff. And my spleen, it's not my mind that wants to know. I did not want to go meet Ra. Not on a mental level, but my spleen took me there, and it was really solid, like some of the strongest spleen hits I had. And then there was this whole shamanic camp that I got called to, that my spleen, it was like peak experiences in what I know as my own inner authority. So we're sitting there at this breakfast at this cafe talking about this, and my spleen is going bam, 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 bam. It's just going yes, 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 yes. And so he and I have been locked. We're going on close to a week now. The perfect location just did itself. We were invited here to do it, and we've been locked. The energy between us in this little experiment has been so radical. And every morning, he's invited me, I've checked back. What you're seeing right here is a manifestation of what it could look like for the projector and the generator to really beautifully work together. It's an example. And I've learned so much this week. It's been an incredible ride. And And although I've been, having to come up and talk for an hour or two a day, I mean, he's working till midnight doing whatever he does that I don't even understand and try not to get too involved with. I just stay out of his way. So by the time you see this, I have no idea how many beautiful sacral wizard hours will be put into this whole project. But that's how the videos got done, guys. We didn't do them. They did themselves. And we were called to the trajectory to do this, and you could not meet two more different guys in your life. In fact, after not talking to him for a year, my beautiful cameraman here, he called up, and I know that his mind didn't like me, and my mind didn't like him for periods of time. And the phone rang, and I saw it was his phone number, and my mind's like, damn, and my spleen's like, bing. And I'm like, oh, so my mind still doesn't like him, but my spleen says he's totally healthy for me. And over this last week, I've really learned to love him. I mean, it's really, you couldn't meet two more different people, but what a magical dance we've had. And we've enjoyed doing this, guys. So I hope you're enjoying watching it. That's my perspective. And that's how the videos didn't happen. They did themselves. And if you don't understand that now, you will soon if you're experimenting with this stuff. Aloha.